Alright, so we're going to be using trig functions here to try and find the measure of our angle. Okay, so once again, we have to make a good decision based on whether sides are opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse. So in this case, angle A has an adjacent and an hypotenuse. So therefore, we're going to use cosine because that's adjacent over hypotenuse and it's 4 over 11. For my sine, for angle B is going to be opposite over a hypotenuse, 4 over 11. And pretty much the fractions are going to be the same for cosine and sine. Okay, if the sine of A, or the cosine of A is 4 over 11, the sine of B is going to be 4 over 11. That's going to happen every single time. For tangent, the fractions tend to get flipped. So for tangent of A, I'm going opposite over adjacent, which is 7 over 6. And then for the tangent of B, I'm going opposite over adjacent, but that becomes 6 over 7. And then finally, the sine of A is opposite over hypotenuse, which is 15 over 19. The sine of B, or excuse me, the cosine of B, and I'm using cosine because now I have the adjacent side and the hypotenuse, 15 over 19. So notice right here and right here, you end up with the same fractions. But what angle goes with what trig function matters very much. Okay, and this bottom one, the side opposite angle A was given, so that's why it's sine of A. Here, the side adjacent to angle B is given, so that means we're going to use cosine. Okay, so now I'm going to put these into my Desmos calculator, which we've been using in class. And once again, feel free to use it at home in class. But our first step, as always, we've got to make sure we're in degrees. Once I'm in degrees, I want to go to the keyboard and I'm going to type in the functions. So our first one was inverse cosine 4 divided by 11. And they give you the answer right there. Then I'm going to do inverse sine 4 divided by 11. And they give me the answer right here. So it's 68.68 and 21.32. And I'll put that in. Angle A is 68.68. Angle B is 21.32. Now I come to my tangent, 7 over 6 and 6 over 7. So we do inverse tangent, 7 over 6, inverse tangent, 6 over 7. And our angles are 49.40 and 40.60. So I'm going to label them here. 49.40 and 40.60. And then I finally come down to this one. Okay. And we have a inverse sine 15 over 19. And that's 52.14. And now inverse cosine, we're just plugging it into the calculator. Remember, rule of thumb, whatever you type into the calculator is what you need to write down. So we get 52.14 and 37.86. And I'm going to put that here. 52.14, 30.